thought about starting at the beginning.
Well, it was incredibly well thought out. I think it's an excellent pairing for the book. I think you could they could go hand in hand. You know, she did a wonderful job adapting it. The first time I read the script, it was a little bit of a journey, and it did throw me and then in terms of how to approach Claudia, and then once first of all, I gave her like knowing how long and how much of herself she put into this project. I gave her a lot of just leeway and like not even and no hint of doubt. You know, I fully believed that she had it. And then when we were on this set, I don't know if I could say that I felt like I was very connected to her vision of the final product. But then when I saw what she did with it, I was completely blown away. If I saw this and you told me this was her first film, I would be like, well, that's a lie.
Right.
I can't wait to see what she does next. And she just creates a great space. I think, having the journey that she's had in her career and being a child actress and a damn fine one, she just knows how to deal with actors. And largely, we like to be told little to nothing. And she did that very well.
That's very funny, Thora.
Thank you.
Gene Hackman once turned to a director and said, all I want from you is louder, softer, quieter, louder, softer, faster, or slower.
That's all we need. That's it.
But Kristen's insight to the grief alongside with those losses that she had and death was so sophisticated and so deep. This is a soulful woman, Kristen. And we saw her soul. I mean, she's got the mind of a writer, the heart of an actor, but the soul of a director. And the sophistication of her understanding is amazing. And she got that across on this film. She directed a film of actors and a story that is difficult to tell and did it exceptionally well. I think she should be getting a lot of recognition for her work in this.
So in reference to that particular scene, I think you mean the one on the couch, right?
Right.
At Claudia's home. I think, that's the one time where everything is presented with very little dialogue. And I think Imogen's ability to just inhabit what Lydia is going through at that point, which is, highly pregnant. She feels like her life is a little bit of a mess at that point, and now here she comes back to her sister, who she always missed and loved and relied upon. But then there's like this sense of abandonment as well, and Claudia, I think, takes that very personally and internalizes it and has a sense of regret and remorse for leaving Lydia too young. But then I think all of that works best sitting in silence, and I felt like my job was to do as little as possible. I had to like stop myself from doing more, and Kristen was great with keeping me on that track. But like, yeah, I mean, as far as just the working relationship with Kristen, I think because we both were child actors, we have a built-in common language. So there doesn't need to be like a lot of verbiage or vocal communication between us. Sometimes she could just look at me, like a little nod or a little blink or something. I'm like, oh, right, okay, I got you. And then we'll do it again, and we hit the sweet spot, hopefully.
Well, I was fortunate because he's a real live guy and there's a lot of footage on him.
Right.
And I was able to, I studied hours of his lectures that are on YouTube. Read, of course, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is sometimes a great notion, and electrocooled acid tests. And it was a very important discussion with Kristen that I was not going to do an imitation, that I would catch the sense of his humanity and lead with that, opposed to trying to mimic. Because once you start mimicking, it becomes very technical, and you kind of separate from the vulnerability of the sorrow that these characters lived. The key line in the movie for me was, nobody is big enough to hold what happens to you. And that kind of changed my life in this last year, because I realized that I've always resented people for not understanding me. And I was like, well, nobody's big enough to hold what happened to me. So I forgave them all. I hope they forgive me. But in this particular instance, the connection between Lydia and Ken was they were both able to hold what happened to each other. And that's when they really connected. And that's when he had the influence on her to say, okay, you're holding this. It's in your hands. Write it. And that puts her on her journey to healing. And it becomes a joyful story to see someone that went through so much grief and loss to come out of it whole with family. Kristen is just, I don't know how she saw this story, but man, it's a beautiful film. She's a beautiful director, and it's a beautiful story.
Well, I mean, I just feel that it's been an incredible gift. I've always been a fan of Kristen's, of course, her acting, but also how she handled the trajectory of her own career in a very difficult time. That era when Twilight popped was very, very a lot of flash bulbs going off, when they maybe shouldn't have been. So, to see how she handled all that and has emerged, and she's got just an incredible intelligence, and she's imbued with a lot of personal power, and I think that journey fortified her in that way, and it's all on the screen, and in my opinion, I think this movie is very much her blood. And she's created, in my opinion, a wonderful punk rock art house, non-psychedelic ayahuasca trip of a movie.
Yeah. It was very
It was very yeah.
That's why I think we're as a shaman, because
Now I get it.
yeah.
I was struggling with that. I was like, shaman. I was like, oh, because of the
Yeah, it's an ayahuasca journey, especially that first 30 minutes. Like,
Oh,
whoa,
totally, absolutely.
whoa, I'm about to go throw up and come back. I was like, the emotion and that she reached, and the spirituality that she creates is like, and I've never seen a movie like this. I mean, you watch this movie and you go, there's nothing streaming right now that even comes close to this. This is a unique piece.
Yeah.
Well, they told me to wrap it up. I had a good time talking to you, Thora and Jim. Good time.
All right, take care. Have a good day.
Fragments.
Keep your head up.
Repetitions.
Smiley face.
Patterns. Formations. There are moments
Look at me.
between years
Look at me.
that surface with great force.
What?
No one is big enough to hold what happens to us. No one's big enough to hold what happens to us. It's in your hands.
People say to me all the time, did the things in your stories actually happen? I don't know. Memories are stories. So you better come up with one you can live with.